Hello, welcome to Just Open. Today we have three questions sent to us by Ruth from the University of Cebu in the Philippines. And she is asking about my nursing job. So let's try to answer the questions in our episode of Just Open. To start with, I'm Domino, a nursing staff of the Clinical Resource Team CRT of the Trillium Health Partners in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. In 2014, I moved to Ontario, Canada, but before moving to Canada, I worked in the Philippines for 9 years, and I happen to know personalities from the University of Cebu like Dr. Helen Estrella and Dr. Mercy Apuhin. Going back to my current job, we are a group of nurses who work in the entire hospital in any unit, or in the Philippines we call it ward, be it medical, surgical, pediatrics, emergency department, my favorite, rehab, cancer units, special assignments, COVID-19 units, and clinics. As a staff, I am expected to provide clinical expertise and act as a team member working across various departments and sites. A CRT nurse does not stay in one unit or ward. I am visible and an essential component of the interdisciplinary team. I have opportunities to build relationships while acquiring additional expertise. CRT is for people who are seeking a variety of nursing practice, and being a part of CRT, you are expected to provide your nursing expertise to any unit every day. Nursing was never my first choice, not even part of the list in my I want to become list. My initial plan was to become a computer scientist, but then my mom became sick and I told myself to choose a course that can help my mom, so I took up nursing. I fell in love with nursing when I was in my third year of study because I found how useful it is to everyday life. For you guys sitting out there, I know we share the same sentiment and the same feeling. Maybe right now you're like, what am I doing here? The same thing happened to me. When I was in first year and second year, I sat in front of the class asking myself, why am I here? It was very scary when I first had my patient load when I was a student, and that anxiety echoed today as I went to work every day. And I work in different units every day, and that causes a lot of anxiety. So the best weapon that you could have, that knowledge, skills, and judgment. But the pressure and the anxiety that you experience every day is worth it because you acquire a variety of experience. Part of my nursing education was taught in the Philippines and part of it in Canada. I am both an alumna of the Philippines and Canada and a licensed nurse to both countries as well. In the Philippines, we were taught to recite the Nightingale's Pledge before starting our shift as a student. And it's like prayer. You start your shift with that prayer. And in so many nursing gatherings, like important gatherings like pinning ceremonies, graduations, we recite those pledge. This practice actually, if you look at the internet from the United States, the Nightingale's Pledge is a statement of ethics and principles of nursing practice in the United States. Nurses in the United States for several years recite this pledge. Until recently, the popularity of this modified version of the Hippocratic Oath for doctors has lost the limelight in the US and most outside the US. In Canada, there was no mention of this pledge in school as far as I remember. We go to our shift as a student and never recite this pledge like a prayer or mantra. Personally, I love this pledge. I memorize it with my heart. Some portions of it, though, needs to be revised. In Canada, as a nurse, you are an independent healthcare provider, meaning you are a separate part of the interprofessional team and you're responsible and liable for your own actions. Meaning to say that you are not an assistant to the doctor or any other practitioner. A portion of the pledge that says, with loyalty will endeavor to aid the physician in his work is no longer applicable actually, especially here in Canada, because great emphasis was put on the nurse's independence as a separate, unique, and independent healthcare provider. We collaborate with other professionals verify medical care, make our opinions, and suggest interventions for patient care, which is highly respected by doctors and other members of the interprofessional team. An example is during the COVID-19 pandemic, where nurses take the lead in the policy implementation and prevention of the disease. We are at the forefront and managing how services are offered to the public using the nurses' epidemiology expertise. We are not doctors' assistants, but leaders in healthcare. Another issue I find in this pledge is its religious introduction. The pledge starts with, "I solemnly pledge before God." Don't get me wrong, I am a God-believing person, but this statement does not apply to nurses practicing a different faith system. In Canada, the belief of every nurse is important and respected. Therefore, we attach our practice not to a pledge, but to a standard of practice required by the College of Nurses of Ontario, which is the regulatory body of nurses in Ontario, Canada. I hope I answered your question, Ruth, and I hope you're satisfied with my point of view. And I think that's it. Thank you so much.